churches in Canada are begging to be saved from being closed down or abandoned. But the trend in which they are being saved is not what you expect. Christian professing congregations across the U.S. are facing waning numbers. A Gallup poll reported that in 2020, over the years, numerous church buildings throughout Canada have been bought to avoid abandonment and later converted into residential living spaces. But for one community of residents in Niagara Falls, the trend to convert churches would become an opportunity for a greater blessing in their lives. Michael Robinson has the details.
Niagara Falls, the great wonder that comprises 3 waterfalls into one, and serving as an international border of Canada and the United States. Its beauty gives a sense of peace to tourists and residents alike. Residents like Daniel Laha.
We live more than 3 years in this place. I love this place because it is quiet and the scenery is so beautiful, and it's not too busy city compared to other city in Southern Ontario.
But today, what gives peace and joy to Daniel, a Church of Christ member in the local congregation of Niagara, is this church building, formerly owned by the Battlefield Gospel Church, now owned by the Church of Christ. It was only a few months ago that this church building would be sold and converted into living spaces, as other church groups rented spaces from this edifice and asked for help to save the church building through social media. It would seemingly put all events in jeopardy for any group renting, even for Church of Christ members.
This is also planning to convert this to a living spaces.
But Daniel and Church of Christ members in Niagara never stopped hoping.
We start our devotional prayer and asking God to give us a permanent place of worship where we can congregate.
With answered prayers, the possible chance to purchase turned into a blessing for Daniel and other fellow members. With the purchase of the church on the table, ministers of the gospel met with the owner of Battlefield Gospel Church and officially purchased the church edifice, handing the keys over to the Church of Christ, having a new home in Niagara Falls.
The brethren are so happy, and you can see their smile in their face, and also they're really excited in going to this place.
Smiling and excited that the now former Battlefield Gospel Church would officially be the place of worship of the local congregation of the Church of Christ in Niagara Falls. The 24,000 square foot property would house a seating capacity of 350 people, including a second floor balcony with multiple rooms and areas for use.
I feel so humbled to see the locale grow in so much, and we've been praying for this place for such a long time.
Beginning as a group worship service, and after some time with the approval of the church administration, it was approved to become a full-fledged local congregation, and it would be this church edifice, the Battlefield Gospel Church, once a rented space, now a permanent place of worship for Church of Christ members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So it truly is a manifestation of God's love and mercy that we are now able to have our own place of worship.
Activities that would continue to unite members with their friends and families, whether humanitarian efforts through Care for Humanity or the ongoing growth of the church through newly established congregations. The church now in Niagara Falls shines even brighter with a new place of worship.
We will love, take care, and value with great concern this edifice for the honor and glory of our Almighty God. We thank wholeheartedly our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, for approving the purchase of this place of worship. This will be a great help to the district and the congregation to all the more strengthen our missionary works in this part of the world.
Niagara Falls is a known wonder throughout the world. It is even more known now that the Church of Christ has further made a mark in not only having the true faith grounded through this newly purchased church edifice, but also the plans coming soon to renovate one day and dedicate as a house of worship. If you live in the Southern Ontario area and want to learn more about the Church of Christ, visit us at incmedia.org and click the Worship With Us button and find a congregation near you. Michael Robinson, Iglesia Ni Cristo News Network.
Keep up with the latest news and inspiring stories of INC News World by hitting the subscribe button to the INC Media YouTube channel.